What? I hope that was right. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yep, that's right. There's 0 people watching.
That is perfect. Only when you're here, Jennifer. Last week we had Chris Cuddy as a co-host, and oh my, our numbers were through
because he probably shared it.
He did share it. He shared it. He promoted it. All the people at work, and he's pretty funny too. Well, I see your father's on, or maybe your grandmother. Hey, everybody, you're at the right stuff. And this week we have Jen Remauro with us. Hey,
Hi.
She made it. She made it. Jen, boy, oh boy, you're going to be upset. It was too late for me to clip, but lawmakers are announcing a bipartisan bill to end Twitter in the United States.
No, TikTok.
Sorry, TikTok. Not Twitter, TikTok. Twitter, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Twitter. TikTok, your favorite venue. So what are you going to do?
Nothing, because I don't do anything on there now.
Well, look who's here. Aunt Santa's here. She hasn't been here a long time. So I guess she's here because you're back. Hello, Grandma. And here he is, my co-host last week, Chris Cuddy, and the great, magnificent Oz, Tom Barlotta. Damn, I'm going to have to watch it after my CB3 meeting is over. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Tuesdays are CB3. And the OG is with us. Hi, Lucille.
Tom, is Joe Cassette still the chairman there? Joe's father.
Oh. And the professor is with us, and Jody Wasserman. Jody, where were you last week? I was hoping that you would join us, but we'll have to have you on another week when Jen doesn't come on, which happens often. Jen, did you?
Often. It was like twice.
Okay.
I was with the commissioner.
Like 3 times. Yes, we know you were with the commissioner. So... Well, tell us about your time with the commissioner, Miss Big Shot, name dropper.
No, she thinks I'm nuts. Because the first time I chased her through the El Carib and peed my pants running and took a picture with her. She thought I was going to attack her.
Well, tell everybody, commissioner of what? They don't know. They weren't with
my PD commissioner.
Okay.
I can never say her first name.
Well, say her last name.
No, I'm not going to even butcher it.
Well, she's the first female police commissioner, but the cops like her, right?
You do.
Okay.
You love her.
All right.
The mayor, I don't think, does.
Well, the mayor doesn't like anybody.
No.
All right, we're gonna let some people catch up with us, and we're going to guess what time it is.
A half inch means a lot sometimes.
This pumpkin latte sucks, and I want to speak to your manager.
How much is the economy today? Oh, it's that much.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks?
Oh,
I hope you use that time to share it on your Facebook page.
Nope.
Oh, come on, Jen. Well,
don't you know I hate social media because I do it all day long.
Well, I know you do, but give a break. Let's get some viewers on this show.
I'm like the worst marketer of myself ever.
Yes, you are. So market me instead.
Oh, it says it. It says I'm live now. It's on my wall.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not because you shared it. It's because I shared it.
No, I did.
Oh, okay, you did.
Why is all right, so Peter Romanowski's angry at it.
Okay. Oh, the professor. I wonder why he's angry. All right. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the page. If you're watching on Rumble, please give us a Rumble. And if you're watching on Facebook, thank you all and thank you, Facebook, for shadow banning us still.
Yes.
But stranger things have happened. Jen, did you hear about Fetterman?
No, I haven't heard anything all week.
Chris Cuddy, have you heard about Fetterman? Well, the New York Times on Monday declared incoming U.S. Senator, God, I choke when I say that, U.S. Senator John Fetterman, one of its 93 most stylish people of 2022. Look at that. He is one of the most stylish people of 2022. And it prompted backlash against the paper on social media. And
they took their poll at the local Walmart. It was 100 local Walmart shoppers.
Well, his own wife says no recount. She could not believe that the New York Times, John Fetterman, one of the most stylish people. Hello, Ralph. How are you? Yeah, he's stroke. Yeah, I guess that's why. He's the worst. Oh, I know. No, I'm not kidding, Aunt Santa. That is the truth. Oh, she liked your joke. What a slob. Well, apparently, the New York Times is probably trying to attract more readers from the Walmart.
Well, the New York Times is the slob of a newspaper, so.
So it just goes to show you that New York Times is full of lies, absolute lies. I mean, come on, really? How could they even think about that? I just don't get it.
There's no style.
And this is a late ad for everyone. This is important because, well, let me show you. So an experimental mRNA cancer vaccine with immunotherapy reduces risk of melanoma returning preliminary.
Read that again.
No, I don't. So basically, Moderna and Merck said that a new mRNA vaccine was being tested on people who had melanomas, which is skin cancer, and that when they use the vaccine with the immunotherapy, the vaccine that Moderna makes with the immunotherapy that Merck makes, that you're less likely to have that melanoma.
But you grow a third tit. You gotta trade it off for something.
Hey, but the people who were taking it had to have 9 shots per week for a year. And the preliminary results were announced, but they weren't peer-reviewed, and they weren't published anywhere.
That's like the vaccine for COVID.
Exactly. So that's why I included it on our clips tonight, because basically that same mRNA was what they used for COVID. And we know that it didn't stop the spread of COVID. So it was a BS vaccine for COVID. And now they're trying to peddle it for cancer patients. And I just wonder, what the hell what door did we open that we allowed these vaccines on the market and the government to mandate people getting them? And now you have this. And just so that you know, it was only 157 patients that they tried it in. And melanoma, according to the American Cancer Society, only accounts for only 1% of cancers. And
we now know who my biggest client is, a dermatologist.
Yeah, exactly. So Jen, check it out and ask them if they heard of this, because in my opinion,
we haven't. We would have.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I think that it's more of the drug companies making more money.
Well, and then the government gets taxes from it.
Yeah. Thank you, Aunt Santa. I have to go to the hairdresser. I just haven't gotten around to it. So that's what you get, but I'm glad you like it. At my daughter's Christmas concert, so I will play catch up later. Have a good show, ladies. Thanks, Chris.
We all have excuses tonight.
Well, listen, that's what happens. The polio vaccine worked and wasn't shoved on Americans. I will say the vaccines are time bombs. I agree. Yeah, I just think it's nuts that we're doing this with just throwing stuff out on the market and
And if
not
it sticks,
testing them. I mean, it wasn't published and it wasn't peer reviewed, but yet they're planning, they announced it so that the public says, "Oh, I want something that's going to cure my cancer," and they're going to start clamoring for it. And yeah, not good. Hi, Ann Lawrence. Good to have you with me and us. I was reading and talking. Oh, Ann Sands is here. Okay, hold on. Like Cuomo saves seniors, thousands died thanks to murderous agendas. Agreed. Um, you'll see the videos of her playing on my feed later, Jen. Okay, we look forward to that, Chris. Miss you too, Ann. Okay, so that was that. This also was a late ad. Ego fined $85,000 for toxic gas release at Waffle Factory in California. DA says so. Eggo waffles, toxic gas release. What kind of toxic gas comes from Eggo waffles?
I don't know.
I mean, Bush's baked beans, maybe, but waffles? I don't know. All right. Well, our Twitter award tonight goes to
The Twitter award. Oh, we have a Twitter award.
Sorry, I keep doing that.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I got Twitter on the brain. That's the second time I did it, right? With TikTok and this. Our Fauci Award for gullible people tonight goes to the twerps at Twitter. Twitter employees are called twerps.
They're still bitching.
What's that?
They're still bitching.
They're still bitching. Okay, so this one doesn't have any sound, Jen, but I do want to read what it says.
The Fauci Award for Gullible People.
Your mic is off. Oh my God. It's still off. The hell is wrong with you?
I'm having a bad day. Oh my God. So listen, so the longest time Twitter stance was so this is coming from the Twitter files that Elon Musk released. And his recent drop that Barry Weiss on Twitter actually put out was why and how President Trump was banned off of Twitter. So it's a series of files of Twitter employees discussing it. And they actually said he did nothing wrong, but they banned him anyway. And once they banned him, they got so full of themselves, they actually wanted to start attacking the medical industry and misinformation. What that said was very excited to see. This was one Twitter employee. Very excited to see us handling more categories of misinformation. For the longest time, Twitter's stance was that we aren't the arbitrator of truth, which I respected, but never gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling. That said, my dad is an MD, and medical information is a really hard topic. Even for COVID-19, we only covered a narrow category of information. As an example, take vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry, and xylitol with GSD daily to reduce the risk of COVID-19. Good information, ? Creative marketing, or misinformation. So they got so full of themselves after they banned Trump that they started going after the medical, people's medical preferences, and not only COVID-19, but everything else. So I thought that was worth giving a Fauci award to. You agree? You don't agree?
I think they're all a bunch of babies. I'm not on Twitter. I don't care for it. I won't go on. I deleted my account a long time ago.
Well, he's dropping a lot of files, and they're very interesting files. Just about all pharmaceutical products have some sort of side effects.
Everything has a side effect on at least one person. Everybody's body is different. You know, you can use a powder and you get a rash. You can use a face cream, you get a rash. Everything has a side effect, and they can't possibly test it on every single person with all the DNA. So,
and that's why, mandating that people take certain drugs.
Yeah. Remember when I took that cream for my chicken pox, and I went to blasting months because I was the 1 in a million were allergic, and you thought I was itchy for months.
That's right.
It never went away.
And you also, not only were you allergic, but you also got chickenpox twice, which very rarely happens. But, so it's funny because Elon Musk is, is tweeting some really out there stuff. I mean, he's not pulling any punches. And here's what his most recent tweets were, and the White House's response to it.
These attacks, these personal attacks that we have been seeing are dangerous on Dr. Fauci and other public health professionals as well. They are disgusting, and they are divorced from reality. And we will continue to call that out and be very clear about that. Again, these are incredibly dangerous.
But when Kathy Griffin put up a picture of Trump with his head severed, that was okay.
That was okay. It wasn't.
It was funny.
It was funny. That came under humor. Yeah, but I love it. I love that that picture of Biden and Fauci.
Only simple-minded people would actually take those things seriously and do something about it. And those simple-minded people, some of them sit in our White House,
a lot of them sit
in Congress,
or most of the people sitting in the White House are. Karine Jean-Pierre had lots to say about the release of Brittany Griner. What do you think about that release, Jen?
It's disgusting. Absolutely. You know what? If it humbles her, because I saw an interview, and if it humbles her and makes her a normal, nice human being who actually respects America and all that stuff, that would be great. Lesson learned. But she's still a pompous little stuck-up bitch. Once she's home, I mean, she's going to have a book deal. She's going to have a movie. Please, she's set for life. She's not going to have to do anything. But we let an arms trader, right, out. And we left an American prisoner that's been there for 4 years in there to get an NBA star out who kneeled at the flag and hated America.
Well,
publicity. That's what it's for. Publicity.
Publicity.
The more she makes, the more our government makes when she gets paid.
Well, the one thing I will say is, if you could believe what they say, they said that Paul Whelan was not on the table, that Russia said it's either Brittany or nothing. And so, the question is to all our viewers, all tens and tens of you, do we leave an American in prison because we're not getting the one we want?
Dangerous. But were they in negotiation before she got locked up?
So, well, let's hold on a second. Here's what Karine Jean-Pierre said about the whole situation. Here we go.
President Biden keeps his promises, and today he fulfilled a deeply important promise to bring Brittany Griner home to a family that loves her, a team that misses her, and a country that has marveled at her strength and courage. Brittany's safe return home is the product of months and months of painstaking negotiations that were the culmination of extraordinary efforts across the U.S. government. Officials from the White House, the State Department, and across the administration worked tirelessly and relentlessly to see this moment through. On a personal note, Brittany is more than an athlete, more than an Olympian. She is an important role model and inspiration to millions of Americans, particularly the LGBTQI plus Americans and women of color. She should never have been detained by Russia. And I am deeply proud of the work that the president has done, this administration has done to get her home.
Ow! Stop squeezing me, you moron! I'm pissed.
She's a moron.
She's important.
Yeah.
She's important. She's a role model.
I never voted before you, Biden, and I voted for you because I hate this country. Well, she sounds like a dude. She does play this. So my voice isn't compatible to hers, but.
So the people who want to let all the people out of jail say Russia should have never detained her. Even though she did something illegal, they should have never detained her. Yeah,
and had a snotty ass attitude about it.
Yeah, well. Okay, hold on a second. Ralph is going overtime here. You haven't heard one gun control group condemn this administration for flooding the world with billions of dollars in military armament and now a world-class arms dealer to drug cartels and despots. Absolutely despicable and evil. Look who's with us, Martin Lee. How are you, Martin? Russia released Griner, ignored Whelan to aggravate America. That choice was intentional. Stirs up the shit pot among Americans. That's an interesting point of view. Cynthia Beale's with us. When swamp gas ignites, the flame is blue, sometimes yellow. Let's get our Marine home. All right, Cynthia. An argument can be made that anyone can be a role model for some group.
AOC.
What group is she a role model for?
The moron group. The idiots of America.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I did cut that clip, and Karine Jean-Pierre said that the president will never stop trying to negotiate for Whelan's return. So I don't know what. He's not as important as Griner, but interestingly, he's more important than Griner to the Russians, obviously. I wonder why. But Griner was not important enough. We had to give an arms dealer for her trade. I don't know. All right. So Senator Sinema. Did everybody see Senator Kristen Sinema changed her registration from Democrat to independent. But that doesn't mean she'll be going against the Dems, according to MSNBC. Watch.
Just days after Senator Raphael Warnock's reelection in Georgia guaranteed the Democrats 51 members of the Senate, Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema announced she decided to leave the Democratic Party. The Democrats would still control the Senate floor, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting tie-breaking votes when necessary, but sending the Senate back to its current 50-50 status would mean equal numbers of Democrats and Republicans on committees, where the tie votes create extra procedural difficulties for the Democratic chairs of those committees and for Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor. Senator Sinema's chosen venue for announcing the big change was not to an audience of voters in Arizona, the way Jim Jeffords announced his dramatic party change in 2001 to his voters in Vermont. Instead, she chose a friendly Washington television interviewer to announce that she was changing her voter registration in Arizona from Democrat to independent, an announcement that has no real meaning in the United States Senate. As Majority Leader Chuck Schumer explained in a written statement about an hour after that TV interview, Senator Sinema informed me of her decision to change her affiliation to independent. She asked me to keep her committee assignments, and I agreed. Kyrsten is independent. That's how she's always been. I believe she's a good and effective senator, and I'm looking forward to a productive session in the new Democratic Majority Senate. Translation, Senator Sinema has pledged her vote to Chuck Schumer for Majority Leader.
I can't believe he's still alive.
He's alive and doing damage. Moderates always moderate to the left, so perhaps no change. Yeah, so, the Republicans got all excited that, she was doing the right thing, and they were hoping that, she'd caucus with them, but I guess she saw her jumping off opportunity. I don't know what that's going to do for her in her home state. of Arizona, how's she going to run in the future? Is she going to be able to run as an independent and win? That'd be interesting to see. But I don't know, because Arizona is just a freaking mess. I mean, Maricopa County, as long as that exists.
Still counting?
What? No, they're not still counting. They gave it to Lake, but what you didn't know from last week, and I don't know if we covered it here, the two people in charge of the elections in Maricopa County created a PAC, donation PAC, federal PAC, and they spent their money against Carrie Lake, so against the Republican, so that
So Lake won?
no, Lake lost.
Wow.
Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of
They
State,
gave it to Lake.
So they went against the two election officials.
Got it. And
Okay. Now, I mean, there is nothing more unethical than that.
well, of course, PACs are unethical.
Well, and then they attack the counties where the Republicans live, and the machines didn't work, the printers didn't work, all of that stuff. So apparently Lake has a lawsuit going, but I don't know what the outcome is going to be. We've seen what lawsuits do before, and nothing. But I want to ask everyone, what they think went on with the Senate race with Herschel Walker, what they think went on with the fact that this red wave did not manifest in the Senate. I mean, we took the House, not by much, but we took it, and that was, a goal. The goal was to get control of both houses, but in the Senate, we didn't do so good. So in essence, in Georgia, we lost 3 senators. Three opportunities within 2 years. So whose fault is that? Everybody's blaming Trump.
Well, it's either rigged, or they finagled their way into the brains of all of these impressionable morons to go out and vote.
Well, the interesting thing is in the Arizona race, the Carrie Lake race, the news media for in that Lake race was 99% against Carrie Lake. So similar to the Twitter files, right? Yeah. And in Georgia, Herschel was way outspent, and Mitch McConnell did not spend money in the Georgia race. Young voters 18 years to 21 years of age, brainwashed. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Look for 2024 elections to be canceled. Peter, I fear that you're right. And well, let me just show you what Ted Cruz thinks was the problem.
Mitch McConnell, no secret, wants to be Senate Majority Leader again. And he sees Donald Trump, not the Democrats, as his chief obstacle. This tension is not new, but the midterm campaign calendar is bringing it into sharper focus as McConnell tries to block Trump allies in several big Senate races.
Americans are feeling across this country the rage that I'm feeling. There are almost not words to describe it, because this opportunity was screwed up. It was screwed up badly, and the people who are going to pay the price are the American people. The country is screwed for the next 4 years because of this. We're going to see horrible left-wing judges confirmed for the next 2 years because of this. We're going to see judges taking away our free speech rights, our religious liberty rights, our Second Amendment rights. It is an enormous missed opportunity, and I got to say it is hard to describe my feelings as anything other than rage right now.
Explain to me, Senator, why in a race where the polling showed that we had a legitimate chance of winning there, why did he pull out that money from Masters, who desperately needed it?
Because Masters said he would vote against Mitch McConnell. And so Mitch would rather be leader than have a Republican majority. If there's a Republican who can win, who's not going to support Mitch, the truth of the matter is he'd rather the Democrat win.
Hey, I don't like that man at all.
It's scary that the swamp goes so deep. Cynthia says McConnell needs to go. I agree, Cynthia. I agree, because we're being fed a load of bullshit. And we think that these leaders, I mean, McCarthy right now has an opponent for leadership. Whether or not he'll actually lose the leadership seat, I don't know. I'd rather have McCarthy than Nancy Pelosi, obviously.
Of course.
But the problem is that these people have been in here forever. I pulled these charts. Look at this. Look at the average age of the people in the Senate and in the Congress. Look at this. So the red is Senate and the House is black. Over 42% are in the Senate are in their 60s. And here are the oldest people serving in this is Congress. And also in the Senate. I mean, these people have been there forever. 87 years old. Dianne Feinstein is 87 years old. And this is what we keep on, this is who's making decisions for this country. And maybe that's the reason that the young people are not voting.
Being defiant.
Well, I mean, listen, they're out of touch. But the Democrats have one thing that they're doing. I mean, they're making the rules and they're playing within those rules, and we are denying those rules. We want to change the rules back to the way they were, and that I think has a lot to do with the fact that people are so old they can't conceive of doing things differently. They're set in their ways, and so they keep campaigning the same way. And when you keep campaigning the same way and you lose, it's like insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Information is useless unless it can be retrieved, and decisions are only as good as the facts. Agreed. Voters misinformed are voters unqualified. Yeah, but and that's what they're depending on, and that's what the Twitter files showed us. Those dumps showed us that the largest media company in the world was suppressing conservative voices and uplifting liberal voices. And we talked last week about the algorithms and the bots and how they would use the same phrase over and over and over and over again. And then those phrases would trend. And so the kids and the people that were using digital media would see those phrases. And so if everybody's saying the same thing, it must be true. And that, was a brilliant move on the part of Twitter. It was maniacal, but it was brilliant. In-kind donations, they are. Peter, they're in-kind donations. And if McCarthy or whoever gets in must make this a campaign finance issue, because that is considered, in-kind donations. They were donations, not through a PAC, but and there's, there in our country, you have these PACs that can spend on behalf of a candidate as long as they don't coordinate with the campaign. But that wasn't what was happening. These were in-kind donations. And this is something that has undermined our government. And even if it didn't, you will never convince me that it didn't, because it happened. And so there's no way to get the genie back in the bottle. There's no way to prove that it didn't influence the election. So it's tainted. It's tainted one way or another. And that's just scary. Bobby, all right. He made it. Thank goodness.
Where's your husband?
Usurpers. I don't know where my husband is. Bobby says, welcome back, Jen. Tom Bellata. Okay, Tommy Valet is back. My therapy session can now begin.
I'm trying to put this on my Instagram, but
put what on? Oh, to watch the show? Oh, well, I don't know. Well, it's all I know, Jen, is Tommy Bellata and Bobby are now here, so you better be funny, because they are in need of a therapy session.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good one.
So, guys, we were just talking, and the professor brought up a great point about the Twitter working on behalf of the Democrats in the 2020 election, that it was in-kind donations to candidates. And that's something that I think that the Congress needs to take a look at. What do you guys think? All right, Jen, let's see. What else do I have for you, Jen? Oh, okay. Well, so do you remember what's his name? Youngkin. Do you remember what got Glenn Youngkin elected to the Virginia House? I mean, to be governor of Virginia?
No.
Okay, so what happened was that parents were being treated by the FBI as if they were domestic terrorists. And it all started because of a girl that, not one, but two girls that were raped in a girl's bathroom by a gender fluid male in a skirt. So watch this from the Senate floor. Watch as this case is discussed a little bit.
On September 29, 2021, the National School Boards Association sent a letter to President Biden equating concerned parents voicing their opinion at school board meetings as domestic terrorists and urging the administration to exercise its authorities under the Patriot Act. News reports indicate that the NSBA coordinated with the White House and engaged for weeks leading up to this. On October 4th, Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a memorandum that directed the FBI and U.S. Attorney's offices to address a purported disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence at school board meetings. In Virginia, an individual was arrested, another man was ticketed for trespassing, and that being Scott Smith. Why was this man so angry? This being an AEI article depicting exactly what occurred that fall. Why was this man so angry? It was because his 9th grade daughter had allegedly been sexually assaulted in a school bathroom by a gender-fluid, skirt-wearing boy. Now, that has now been adjudicated. And in fact, she was assaulted. The father in question, Scott Smith, on May 28, 2021, received a call asking him to come to the school because his daughter had been in a, quote, physical altercation. The school insisted they would handle the situation in-house. The school board then held a meeting to adopt a policy permitting bathroom access based on gender identity. Smith and his wife attended to voice their concerns. At that school board meeting, a school board member painted concerns about sexual assault as bigoted paranoia. After this exchange, Smith was approached and allegedly berated by a woman named Jackie Schwarm, a frequent poster in a Facebook group, Anti-Racist Parents of Loudoun County, a group that compiled a watch list with names, addresses, and employment information of parents who opposed woke school policies. Smith told the Daily Wire he tried to explain what happened to his daughter, that she was raped. And she looked me dead in the eyes and says, "That's not what happened." Smith further said that she noticed the name of his plumbing company on his shirt and said, "Oh, I'm going to ruin your business on social media," she said. The Washington Post reported that Loudoun parents were upset by revelations the same assailant went on to allegedly sexually assault another girl at the school he was transferred to, which in fact happened. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle simply do not care. And they're perfectly fine empowering the Federal Bureau of Investigation to do what is demonstrably true, which is create threat tags in direct response to the National School Board Association.
But if a girl had raped her in the bathroom, then that would be a legitimate stance to persecute. But because the person is different, now they're bigots and racists and everything else.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, if it was a girl that raped her, would charges have been pressed? That's a very good point. Let's see. Bobby says, absolutely, they need to look into all of it. That's true. He's talking about the money. A New Jersey woman was confronted by a U.S. Army officer about something similar. So this is now, the FBI got involved in this situation in Virginia, and thankfully, the parents of Virginia, they fought back with their vote, and they put Youngkin in. Oh, my mother. I find politics funnier than humor. That's because you're dark, Josephine. You're dark. But the FBI, labeled these parents domestic terrorists, and they voted they took action how they could, right? Because when they were speaking in front of the school board, they were arrested or ticketed. They weren't allowed to have a dissenting opinion. And the Democrats were saying these were all lies. None of this was true, and that, this couldn't have happened. Well, not to own, so they moved the kid to a new school, and the kid did the same thing to another girl in another girl's bathroom in the exact same way. Well, the superintendent wanted to, handle everything in house. They didn't want it to become a national conversation, but it did become a national conversation. If it was a girl doing it to a boy, there would be no charges for us because the boy would go back for seconds.
Speaking of boys who wear skirts, just to get off topic, does everyone know who got fired? Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah, we had him on last week.
Oh, really? Got fired last week?
The story we covered the story last week about what's his name again?
Sam Brinton.
Sam Brinton. The Sam Brinton story. And Chris, when I put it up, put on some lipstick and mascara, poked himself in the eye.
He probably looked better than Sam.
He was hoping to get a job with the Biden administration.
Or Vera Bagley.
Yeah. So he got fired because it was 2 suitcases, right? I mean, apparently.
I didn't read it. His bald head and lipstick and glamorous jewelry.
Yeah. It was the second. It was the second suitcase that he stole, that did him in. If he would have just stayed with the one, it would have been okay. Let's see. Glad that transgender was fired. Well, he was hired. I mean, I don't know what the circumstances around him being hired was, but it seemed to me that they were trying to make a point.
It wasn't his looks.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's go back to Loudoun County and what happened here. So the parents never gave up, and here's what happened.
All right, a dramatic exit for Loudoun County's top educator. Last night, the school board fired Superintendent Dr. Scott Ziegler after a 2-hour closed session. Now, there was a discussion about the special grand jury's report into how Loudoun County Public Schools handled 2 sexual assaults by the same student.
Matthew Torres is here with us tonight. And Matt, do we know what the grand jury revealed in this investigation?
Leslie, it was a damning report that essentially called out Loudoun County Public Schools for failing to protect the victims while falling short of properly communicating the cases. Now, just one day after this report, the school board unanimously voted to fire Dr. Scott Ziegler effective immediately last night. But the board members fired him without cause. This is a big win for parent groups who called for his termination for more than a year now. They say he failed to do his job and lied to the public by saying he didn't know of sexual assault cases in schools at one meeting last year.
Fired for those bangs he had last year. That man has bangs.
That would be cause. That would be the right cause.
Don't go near my child with those bangs.
I mean, but really, they fire him without cause. Really? I mean, they should plaster it on their record, on his record, that he ignored 2 rapes. 2 rapes. And, went so far as to actually have a father of a child arrested because he said the rapes never happened. Get the hell out of here. Lipstick, mustaches, and beards don't go together. We talked about that, boy, for sure last week. That Jen, you or a week before, right? You commented on that. No way is that whole Siberian orchestra. Oh no, where's my bell? Hold on, Jen, entertain. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Hang on, I'm digging out my bell because that one deserves a bell. Very good, Tommy Barlotta. All right, Tommy, you get the next spot when Jennifer's not here. You get to come in here and be the host. Clearly not putting individuals with dementia or people with no experience in charge of our nation is of a racist nature. Destroying America is the new utopian trust toward anarchy. I agree. They're trying to destroy us from within, and we're letting it happen. We're letting it happen. And they already stopped, right? They already stopped us, right, from thinking or even considering going to march on the Capitol, demanding anything with the January 6th stuff, right? And supposedly Monday is going to be the final hearing, and then they're going to come out with a decision about January 6th. So this has been laid out. This campaign has been laid out so diabolically well that we have got a situation now. Let's go over it. Okay. Let's think about it. Let's do a little timeline and some history. So in 2016, the press promotes Donald Trump, thinking he was the weaker candidate and would indeed be Hillary would be able to defeat him, right? Because everything was Trump in 2016. He announced now for 2024, and you haven't heard a word about him, right? Nothing. So 2016, the media in cahoots puts everything out about Donald Trump. When he beats Hillary Clinton, they go crazy. So now they have to figure out what they're going to blame it on. Russian collusion. That's what we're going to do. So they have a Steele dossier, and the FBI, gets all this stuff out there, and they start talking about Russian collusion. And
more of our tax dollars out the window.
What do you know? There was no Russian collusion. And that guy who was responsible, Jim Baker, gets fired. He goes over to Twitter, and he becomes the legal counsel for Twitter. And then, as 2020 is coming up, we're deciding in Twitter that we're not going to allow Donald Trump to speak or any conservatives to speak. And we're going to actually freeze the account of the leader of the free world when other leaders who were actually calling for death actually stay on Twitter. Okay, so now Twitter is got all the news going in one direction, and the American public votes for Joe Biden. The most votes in history, and all these questions about how the elections were run and whether or not those absentee ballots were allowed. And we have state legislatures making or governors of states making decisions about elections without their legislatures present because of COVID, and lawsuits were not working. Everything was getting overturned. And we have the election, and Joe Biden is inserted. And now people go crazy on January 6th, and they say, something's wrong with this election. And now those people are insurrectionists. And you have people who never cared about cops suddenly calling people who have been good conservatives and cop supporters and everything else, calling them insurrectionists and against America and against the Constitution.
But if you're against the cops, you could throw a Molotov at the cops and break their horses' faces with bricks, and you get an award. You don't go to jail.
That's right. That's right.
Because of a crackhead drug dealer who put a gun to a pregnant woman's body for drug money.
Right.
Because you're glorifying that person. That's
right.
Okay because you're standing up for the Black community. No, they're not even for him. No, just a bunch of white spoiled kids are for him in that movement. Get out of here.
So the message gets confused, and we find out now, and this is why I think that what Elon Musk is doing with the Twitter files are so important, and people have to pay attention to it, because he's showing that Jim Baker from the FBI went from the Steele dossier over to Twitter and started silencing conservative voices, and started making decisions about who could speak and who couldn't speak. And what the windup is that blue collar, middle class, constitutional, law abiding citizens are now being labeled as criminals. Some are rotting in jail since January 6th, or a little after January 6th of 2021, and still in jail.
But if you kill a Chinese food delivery man over duck sauce, you get let out without bail.
Yes. It's we need to really pay attention to what's going on.
Criminals have more rights than victims. That's what has happened.
Well, Ralph is saying next we're going to have a real Hitler. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering about this. I believe the red wave really didn't happen as big as they thought it was going to, because things just aren't bad enough for people.
Or we're just not bad enough people to make things go the way we want.
Yeah, that's it. Now up to 18-0. Peter, please tell me, what does that mean? What you're
watching? Are you watching the football game?
Why does every media entity support despotic governments? Hitler was the Times Man of the Year. That's true. It's kind of crazy stuff. what's going on here, and we're part of it. Yeah, I believe Joe Biden was installed as president, not elected.
Of course, he was installed as the president.
I mean, come on.
They wouldn't even let him run again, which is a funny thing.
The two attorneys in Bay Ridge, not sure. Democrats always, I'm not sure what that means. Conspiracy theories. Yeah. 18-0, right? Yeah, we're all conspiracy theorists, yet they're all being proven true. So, so what's going on? And now what they're doing is, did you see the latest poll that DeSantis in a head-to-head with Biden would win? Now, I'm not saying anything negative about DeSantis.
Anybody would if I ran this against Biden, he'd win.
Yeah, we said that about Hochul too, Jennifer. And it didn't manifest itself. No, you got to look a little further, a little deeper. It's not just surface. They're starting to put up DeSantis. They're bringing him up. They're covering all the news on DeSantis the same way they did with Trump against Hillary, right? They want DeSantis to run against Trump. They want to encourage him to run against Trump. They want to get Trump crazy. They want Trump to say some things. They want to, they want to keep this going so that they can get a Democrat in. And who's the Democrat? Well, Gavin Newsom. He was down at the border. Can you believe that Gavin Newsom?
His own state tried to impeach him with hundreds of thousands of petitions to get him out of office.
But they didn't do it, did they?
Well, they couldn't. It doesn't matter if they did get the signatures, but they didn't do it.
Well, but when
they got the signatures,
when it came to the vote, he won. Why? Because the news media would not allow for any of his opponents to, I don't even remember who was it.
They tried to impeach him to get him out of office, and they had enough signatures. They got it, but he still.
No, wasn't it a special? I thought it was a recall.
No, they wanted to get him out.
Yeah,
no, they wanted
to
impeach him. He was in office. They wanted to impeach him.
Okay, perfect. Somebody who knows all of this. I'm not saying I don't believe Jennifer, but didn't he just run and didn't the Kardashian guy,
Jonathan?
No. Kate. What's her name? Caitlyn Jenner. Didn't Caitlyn?
Well, she's a Republican in California.
Right, exactly. So you would think that if Newsom was so bad, she would have won, but she didn't win.
Because there's not enough. There's only 3 Republicans in California.
Oh. Bobby wants to know what you're doing with the bobblehead of Joe Biden. If the election doesn't happen,
shut the hell up.
It becomes a recall election, and he won. Right.
That's separate of what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay, but here's the best, right? So last week,
every time there's a recall election, the Democrat wins. Amazing.
Yeah. So last week, he signed a bill that would allow for reparations to those people who were descendants of slaves. Now, think about this. California did not become a state until 1850, okay, way after the Civil War. And when it became a state, it was a free state. So yes, it was, the 13th Amendment wasn't passed until I think 1865. So yeah, there was 15 years where slavery was still kind of going on. But where California was a free state. So who is he paying reparations to? I mean, this is crazy, and now we're talking about states in the North that want to actually pay reparations to slaves. The states in the North were free states. There was no slavery up North. That's why the battle was fought. Or maybe there was, but it wasn't as prevalent as it was in the South. So, but Gavin Newsom is trying to court the black vote, right? He's trying to give away money, and he's trying to court the black vote. We know he is the handpicked child of the Democrat Party, and he wants to be president. So everybody has to watch out for this.
That is when I move out of the country. I'm gone.
So which country going to move to?
I know the economy's terrible.
If America falls, what country do you think?
Oh, they're all falling already. We're right behind them. But I'd rather go somewhere. I'd rather go to Russia, seriously, than live here at this point with what's going on. If Newsom becomes president, I'm gone. I'm going to Italy. I'm done. I've been saying it. I'm gone.
Well, okay. Oh, that's right. That's absolutely right. The Civil War went on to 1865. That's right. They right. That
1865.
18. Yeah,
You said
but
15 years.
I said after the Civil War, but I have my dates all screwed up. Excuse me.
You got the right year. You had the right year.
I had the right year. Well, the Emancipation the 13th Amendment was adopted in 1865. So, and they became a state in 1850.
More than I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to be ignorant. All about entitlements, indeed. John Curley is with us. How
Maybe
are you,
Brittany
John?
Griner will run for president. Then I can really kill myself.
Costa Rica is looking pretty good. Yeah.
I'll go to St. Lucia. I'll go to Jamaica. I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, until you go there. And
St. Lucia has the lowest crime rate in the world.
Well, look at what's happening in Brazil. Look what's happening in Venezuela.
Brazil always had a high crime rate.
But look at what's happening right now with the election being stolen in Brazil.
You never hear about St. Lucia, though.
Yeah.
You get your bananas from there, and that's it.
Listen, we're Americans. We don't run. We fight. We stay and fight. John was in Facebook jail.
For now.
For now, he's out. Okay, so this one is also a reader. This is labeling and canceling are the tools of the left. Unfortunately for Diane Loud, a Dedham, Massachusetts Human Rights Commissioner, the left are learning that the right can cancel you too. She was fired after a foul Facebook post going after local librarian who seemingly showed sympathy towards residents who wanted their Christmas tree back. Loud called Desmond a selfish fucking bitch in a subsequent Facebook post that accused her of endangering the lives by raising the issue. For a tree, quote, this is Loud now speaking.
But they're not allowed to have Christmas trees?
Yeah, no, they got rid of the Christmas tree in the library because they said it was triggering to some people. So the library,
whoever this triggers, and punch them in the face. That's what I want to do. Sorry.
Well, the librarian posted something that was a little too sympathetic to those people who wanted the tree. And so this Human Rights Commissioner, Diane Loud, says, for quote, I'm quoting now, for a motherfucking tree, you have put people's lives in a lot of danger. And addressing others, she speculated might also have been responsible for bringing the controversy to wider attention. Loud, Human Rights Commissioner, remember, continued, quote, I hope the fact that you, who claim to believe in Christ and Christmas, or whatever happy horses you're trying to hide behind, are the least gracious, most hateful, most disgusting trash in the world. Is this what you think your magic sky daddy wants? Where's in the Bible was this again? In closing, I would like to add a big fuck you, you pieces of trash. I hate each and every one of you, and I do wish great suffering on you. You are terrible, terrible people, and you did it all because you didn't get your way. You are despicable.
Somebody needs to get laid.
Well, she got fired.
I found Walter's twin.
You're an idiot. What the hell is wrong with you?
Jesus. That must be some friggin' Standovich library. I don't want to go there.
Yep. It is in Dedham, Massachusetts, and Diane Loud was the Human Rights Commissioner until that.
Human Rights Commissioner.
Yes. She was Human Rights.
That's like not an oxymoron, but sort of.
You think she was smoking a little conjo when she wrote that post? She was off her drugs.
Her husband went out one day to get a Christmas tree and never came back. That's what happened. Hit her.
I should story up a little earlier, maybe.
What are you saying? I wasn't funny the whole show?
Tommy Berlotta is staying on Staten Island forever.
Well, we are the best borough. I will say that.
Oh, we are that. I'm Jewish. I'm American. It's Merry Christmas.
How did it get triggered from someone saying Merry Christmas?
It was a tree.
I understand. I get it. I'm saying you can't even say Merry Christmas. You have to say Happy Holidays, and you're not even going to be seeing that anymore because if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you don't celebrate holidays. So now you just have to look at someone and go,
well, you certainly can't say good day, ma'am. Yes, sir. You can't say any of that anymore.
Good day, ma'am?
If you identify wrong, you're in trouble. Trouble is that with entitlements, somebody is burdened with paying. Slavery began as indentured servitude originally. This is true. And you know what? That's what so many people don't understand is that the government gets its money from us. From us! It's not money that comes from the sky, Daddy, as Loud said. So, oh my God. Wait, where'd it go? That's it, Tommy.
Festivus for the rest of us.
That's it, Tommy. That's it. From now on, I am going to be saying Merry Festivus to everybody I come across. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I love it. I love it. Undo slavery. So in other words, make someone else a slave to undo slavery. Right. What he's saying is that if they squeeze us enough where we're working for the government without keeping our money, because right now we're over 50% of our money is going to the government. If you're in the middle class, then you're a slave. So you're paying people who were slaves restitution by becoming a slave yourself.
People that are being let over the borders illegally have more money than us because they're not paying taxes.
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think I have one more thing. Oh, yeah. What the hell happened to David DePop?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, this is the last
It's gone.
This is the last entry I could find on him.
Courtroom sketches show DePape maskless and without a shoulder sling, standing next to his appointed federal public defender, attorney Angela Chuang. Chuang is not seeking early release, which means DePape will return to state custody at the San Francisco Sheriff's Office until his next federal court appearance. In addition to the federal attempted kidnapping and assault charges, DePape is facing 6 state felony charges, including attempted murder. DePape allegedly had a target list of other state and federal officials he planned to attack that was first revealed in court papers. Will that list at any point become public?
So at this time, that's hard to say. It very well may be a part of the evidence at the preliminary hearing. I would certainly expect it to be a part of the evidence at the trial, should there be one. But right now, of course, with respect to the investigation, we still have a long way.
Whoever is the artist made him look like that magical man in the sky, Jesus. He looks just like Jesus.
Sky Daddy to you.
Sky Daddy.
What the hell happened to him? He had a list of targets. You would think that we would hear about him every freaking day, right? Come on. He's in jail having underwear and hammer fights with inmates.
No pun intended, hammer fights.
I think the pun was intended. Oh my God. All right. We managed to go over. I don't know how. I thought for sure we weren't going to have enough to fill this show.
Oh, look, we got spam. Free Vert Girls. Chat. Oh, hello.
That's fantastic.
You know you made it.
That's because I was reading Loud's quote and I wasn't bleeping myself out. So this probably
it's because Bobby said hammer. Bobby said hammer, and look what happened.
It's coming from YouTube. I love it. Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Everybody goes.
All right.
I'll be charging them for promoting. What's a Oh, virtual girls.
A virtual chat in your city.
Are they girls or are they boys in skirts?
Well, I don't know. As all I know is that because I curse so much, YouTube made us a sex channel. I was only reading the Human Rights Commissioner's words.
We'll make more money.
Maybe.
Well, we'll make money because we're not making any. So
Some money, any money. All right, Jen, you get to close it up. Anything else to add?
Nope, I'm good. I am good. I'm going to go to sexfind.biz when I'm done with this. And I'm going to chat in U City.
In U City.
Where U City from?
All right. Well, happy Festivus, everybody. Love yous too, Tommy. We'll see you next week. When is Christmas is not on
Monday. It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you the next week. And then it's going to be our 1-year anniversary. Oh my gosh.
Look how we have grown.
Look how 1 year, and we're still at 10 viewers. But they're new viewers. All right, everybody. Happy Festivus, everybody. See you soon.
Happy Festivus.